You're welcome back. You're still watching Business Incorporated on Channels Television. Moving over to South Africa now. The South African government has reversed a decision to run floating power generating ships on environmental grounds. Analysts say this is a setback for power supplies in the country and potentially the country's economic outlook. Well, let's hear the perspective of Matt Kindiger, Associate Practice Lead, Sub-Saharan Africa at Frontier View. He's in London and he's sharing his thoughts with us now. Hello, Matt. Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for having me on the show today.
You're welcome. So what does this mean for power supply in the country? And what does it reveal about the country's public procurement processes?
Right, so certainly it really is a major setback for power supplies in the country. And this is because one of the major advantages of these power ships is that they could be plugged into the national grid in South Africa very quickly. They required minimal investment in terms of infrastructure investment. So it was going to be quite an effective quick fix, and that has really been set back. So it does mean that we would expect to see power shortages remain quite a problem in South Africa. Probably for the next 2 or 3 years. We wouldn't expect to see a meaningful improvement in supplies from Eskom, especially. Since the ruling, or since the decision was overturned on environmental grounds, it can be overturned, but we expect this is unlikely, and it's also going to take a long time for a ruling like that to be overturned. In terms of what it means for the country's public procurement processes, it's a very important question because the president, Mr. Ramaphosa, has really been trying to build an image of trying to clean up government departments, make procurement processes much more transparent. But what this shows is that there's really a long way to go to making the system, the public procurement systems, cleaner, more efficient, more transparent. So I expect businesses might be a little bit frustrated that a decision this large, this important, could be overturned so quickly.
Well, another effort of the government towards power supply has been plans to allow private sector generate electricity. How soon can businesses see the positive effects of that?
Yeah, so this is another story that has appeared over the last couple of weeks, and this is, it's intricately linked to the story of the power ship. So the government has really surprised a lot of analysts by saying that it will allow independent power producers to generate up to 100 megawatts of power, which is larger than was expected. And it really illustrates how desperate the government is to solve the power shortage problem. Generally, we would say it bodes well for the outlook in terms of the prospects for power sector availability, dealing with the problem of power shortages, and generally for the economy. But I would emphasize that this is a longer term solution. And this is because we expect it to take at least 18 months from when the first license is issued and between when the first independent power producer will start generating power on a meaningful scale. And bear in mind, it will take a number of independent power producers to match the shortfall of Eskom at the moment. So certainly a positive development, but we wouldn't expect to see any meaningful impact within the next 18 months.
So how will all of this affect the economic outlook of the country over the coming years?
Yeah. Well, it's one of the major drivers of our view for the outlook for South Africa. It's been a problem since about 2008, so it's really been one of the major factors contributing to the country's economic malaise over the last 10 to 13 years. To put it into context, electricity generation has barely grown since 2015, despite the fact that South Africa's economy is larger than it was in 2015 and demand for electricity is higher. And this means that heavy industries, which are a source of export revenues and a major driver of growth and employment, such as mining and automotive manufacturing, really will continue to struggle with high costs associated with expensive backup generation capacity, but also the operational disruption associated with intermittent power supplies. So we also expect it to affect investor sentiment. Companies looking to make large capital commitments to South Africa are probably going to be a bit more reticent, given the ongoing nature of the power problem. So it very much contributes to a fairly moderate to weak outlook for the economy over the next couple of years.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Matt, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thanks very much.